Hi guys, welcome back to our UAS series. We are building a diorama using some figures from Evolution miniatures. These depict two characters from the Stalker genre of video game series and also some graphic novels, I believe. Anyways, these figures are perfectly suited for what I want to represent in this diorama. Two guys, civilian gear, but also some weapons as well. Survivalist, post-apocalyptic type theme. Excellent sculpts, by the way, from Evolution, and also a benefit that they are carrying the right sort of equipment to make them look great for this survivalist type theme. Anyways, usual thing here, the dark primer followed by a white overall coating. I've got some other accessories as well that I'm also priming at the same time using Mr. Servicer, in particular this rubber dinghy, which becomes quite a feature in this diorama. Now I'm going to go into some experiments. Have a look at my last figure painting video where I use the blurb Speedpaint, and you will see there's quite a few products out there using Speedpaint and contrast paints, etc. So I want to try some of these out the bottle ones from Vallejo to see if they're better or worse than my homebrews that I made last time. So my first attempt was using the Vallejo, and this is my own makeup, just using glaze medium with normal Vallejo paints. And this term speed painting, bit of a misnomer to be honest, because what you're doing, you're painting with washes, and because you need this light white or a very light coloured primer underneath, it's not fast at all. You need to be very, very careful with the application of these base colours, or else you won't get the effect of the highlights coming through. So don't be under any illusion through the marketing that this is quicker or easier. I would say actually it's a little bit more difficult than traditional sort of painting. Anyways, this is another method of painting with washes. In this one I've used some Vallejo Model Airs, and I've just used Flow Aid, and again it's a wash. And I had some guy comment saying that it was really, really special, these speed paints. They're not, guys, they're just washes. So don't be led down the path that you need to buy a whole set of paints in order to paint with washes. Just simply make your own. On to the flesh tones now, and using dark flesh colors. Again, I tried to use some wash technique in this, and there is some really good out of the bottle products from Army Painter with flesh washes, but again you can make your own. And what I found anyways with overall with my experiment is using a Flow Aid, using a speed paint medium, or using the glaze medium, all very similar effects. So there's no, I can't say there's a plus or a minus about any of them, but I didn't think that the Vallejo contrast paint speed paints were that good. I found that making my own, I had a lot more control in the consistency of the washes, as in I could make them more concentrated or less. There you can see the face painting again, same thing, just painting with washes, and acceptable for a diorama, I think. I added some black enamel as well, same sort of thing, it's just washes, just to bring out, pop the detail. And of course, one thing is that you'd end up with quite a glossy surface, in particular with the Vallejo speed paints or contrast paints. So a matte varnish is pretty much required. I recycled a base that I used from an old diorama that was from long ago. What I really need is the wooden portion. What I'm doing is measuring up the actual trim, the siding of the diorama initially. There's quite a few different ways to make dioramas, but this is one method that you might wish to use. So I've got some styrene sheet here, and this is obviously being cut to the same dimensions as the base. I use a scriber as well in order to make the cuts. It's a little bit safer, possibly, But it's a quite easy way to cut styrene, is to just scribe it and then simply snap it off. And then of course you want to sand the edges. So I've got those 4 pieces there that are the boundary or the trim pieces. And now what I want to do is make the interior portion, and of course, like everybody else, I use this XPS foam because it's a really great material to use. Previously used to use styrofoam, I think, or used to use paper mache type things for the topography, but this material is really excellent. To build up the height of it, I needed to get 3 sections and glue them together. And on the side, what I did is I traced out the topography that I require. And again, I'm using a scribing type tool in order to cut off the excess that's not required. Just found it a little bit safer. It's just, well, safer. There's a lot less risk of the tool slipping on the rather smooth surface of the plastic, the styrene. Let's glue this XPS foam together using white glue. White glue because, well, it's a really great bond, and one of the problems, of course, is that with this XPS foam it will disintegrate if you use anything hot on it. I think super glue's fine on it, but any sort of hot type of adhesive will cause problems. So now I'm going to trace the contour of the topography onto that sandwich of XPS foam. And the same thing, I need to cut all this out. I haven't got one of these wire cutters, so I just use a razor saw and hack away at it until I get the rough sort of shape that's required. And test fit it onto the base, of course. And now I'm testing the elements of the diorama to make sure that they fit. And then I can secure the foam onto the wooden base. And then finally I can glue on the sides. Here you can see I'm using white glue to attach it. Also at the butt joins as well, I use some super glue. Now I've got quite a steep incline here, so I wanted to depict some way in which the characters in the diorama were able to descend from the top of what is a small cliff. And I carved in some areas where I'll place some paving stone steps. Quick way to rough up some posts as well. This is obviously protection to indicate that there's a big cliff there. The theme of this diorama as well is a surprise. Something has happened to these 2 survivalists. They've come across something, and I wanted an element where there's something hidden. This is like a spackle type paste, and you know, all these sort of dioramas, they're all built the same sort of way. Pretty good idea to apply some edge protection there as well, so that you don't get an over on a paint or material on top of the nice shiny plastic that will be the edge. When the spackle's still in a liquid type form, what I do is sprinkle on a mixture of dirt, small stones, tile grout, etc. to give the earth. And the little area in the corner there, of course, is where the water will be for the dinghy. In order to secure the earth to the base, what I did, I made up a mixture of white glue, alcohol and water, and just apply it with a pipette, and then you just leave it to dry. It takes quite a long time. I leave it overnight. Sprinkle on some grass. I don't have one of those special devices, and also I'm thinking about the timing of year as well in this diorama. It's definitely like an autumn towards winter because of the clothes that the guys are wearing. And again, a nice dark colour as well for the base work, just to get in the shadow tones. And I've got all these foliage stuff that I've collected, grass clumps, etc. All different colours. And it's a good idea to super glue these onto the base. They can see the UAs are just test fitting that. Check video 1 on Christmas where I have the UAs builds. And now let's start painting up the base using, first of all, the foliage. I want to make it autumn winter, so I need a very dark green, nearly a dark green and browns really for that foliage. And then the excellent colour for the earth, of course, is flat earth from Tamiya, and apply it again all over on the base. Very simple techniques for dioramas. This is a little bit more complex than the one that I showed before in my videos about the American Jeep. And this is what I use for water. I don't do resin pours. Don't really need to. There's not really any great depth required here. So I use this product, Realistic Water, which will dry as a hard gloss medium. Takes quite a long time to set. And also I need to place the dinghy into its position. And I used a bit of tape here to dam off the side, and when I came back it actually all leaked out, so I had to repeat this process. Stuff happens. Now, usual dry brush technique, I want to highlight all the texture of all this earth. Very simple once again, use Iraqian sand, maybe some buffs as well. And you can see now that the detail's really popping. You can see the footprints there where I previously imprinted in the guy's feet. That'll really help in positioning the figures. And I wanted the stones as well to be a few different colours, so I used the greys and like a bluey grey and a tan as well. And also hit the dry, well, this is dry brushing, just wanted to give some highlights on the grass using an ochre colour as well, and also pop this previously laid down grass here as well. And now a little water effect is to use some cling film and put it into the base. Now I wanted the water not to be transparent, so you take that Realistic Water, add in some green acrylic paint and just re-pour to create that effect. So the idea, of course, in this diorama is that these guys have come across something pretty bad. Either this is their boat or they're coming on a raid here to maybe steal the boat, but something's up, something's happened. So I want to place the figures into place and make sure that these guys really bed in firmly. This is why I've pre-positioned them beforehand. And I've got a claymore mine. This is one of the warnings that whoever was there before left for them. And this guy spotted it. He's seen the claymore, and even more so, they had a skull on a post as a sort of keep away marker. And the guy's looking back up to his colleague to say, dang, they know we're here, or something's up. Very simple concept. Fit on the UAs. Final part of the diorama. See you in the next one.